Hotep. I am Ntrt Kefa Manuk Ma'at. Welcome to my YouTube page again, as well as my spiritual family on Facebook. I know it's been a long time since the last time I've done a video. It's been a few weeks, and that's because I have been going through a lot of different things spiritually, going through some things that I've experienced, that have manifested here in the physical world, and it was something that was needed. But during that process, as the reason why I'm doing this video today, which is called Mirror, so many things, including the events in my own life, was showing me that it was time to do this video, as well as communicating with so many different people who are going through so much in their lives and don't understand why. So here is an answer, a truth, to help you understand why such events happen in your life when it comes to your relationships to people, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's co-workers, whether it's, I guess, anybody that you're with. If you have a mate, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife. Most of us at least can agree and understand about our relationships to our children. If you are a parent, whether you're a mother or a father, whether you're together or a single parent, it does not matter. It's knowing that our children are a reflection of who we are. And we agree to that because we see so much of ourselves in our children. And the reason why most of the times we are getting angry and yelling at our children for the things that they do, outside of the common sense factor that a lot of the youth are missing, and unfortunately a lot of adults too. But it's seeing them or seeing yourself in them when they're doing something you know that they shouldn't be doing, or they acting out in a manner that they shouldn't be doing. If you stop and take a moment to yourself and pay attention to what your child is doing, you will see that what you're actually angry about is not at them, but at yourself, because they are a reflection of who you are. They are only acting out and mimicking what their parents do. See, we forget that when the seed is implanted into the woman, a lot of the mannerisms, a lot of the different belief systems and things that we have at that moment that a woman and man comes together and make a child, the mother holds a lot of these belief systems and thought processes and mannerisms and different things that she or he has been going throughout their lives. Their feeling of hatred and low self-esteem and all these different things. All these things are actually embedded into our children as well. So we get upset when we see those things in them and we're yelling at them, but we're really actually yelling at ourselves. Now, I know most people don't understand that concept, so I'm going to explain what I mean by that in just a moment. But just wanting to finishing off at least the relationship between a parent to a child. We have to stop yelling at our children. We have to stop allowing our emotions to get so far into the situation that makes it so that we can't see straight. We end up treating our children differently in a negative way that end out bringing out more negative thoughts and negative actions to our children. We need to understand that if we want to see better in our children, then we must see better in ourselves. If we see where the fault is in our children, it doesn't mean that the fault is not there, but we also have to understand where the fault came from, where it's manifesting from. If you, and this doesn't go for all situations, but if you have a situation where a child is drinking or doing drugs, a lot of times it does come from the parent who is also doing the same thing. But then you have parents who are not in that type of lifestyle. They don't drink, they don't do drugs, any of those things, but their child has done that. Well, that's still also a manifestation of something that is going on spiritually within them that they're still mimicking from their parent, because there's something or somewhere in that parent's life that they're having trouble in, and they're expressing it in a certain way, and the child is receiving it in a certain way. So that child is expressing that emotion or that feeling or that confusion, that chaos, and in their way. It's the same thing when you see something wonderful and good in your child. It's the same. You see that same thing within yourselves. Now, when we're speaking about others, like our mates and our friends, whether we're getting into an argument and we're fighting and we say we hate the person, or we call them a liar, or we call them a cheat, know that when you're saying that to that person, it's because you're saying it to yourself first. What's happening is that we are all holding this invisible mirror. And we don't know that we're holding it. A lot of us forget that we're holding, for the ones who actually know that this is what's going on, because we all are in our own world. We're all in our own worlds that's connected to a bigger world of all the different thoughts, of all the different concepts of everybody that lives on this planet. And we all come accepting into the building of this world that we see now, the concept that we live in now. Like in the United States, this is the concept, this is a system that we live in, and we all are in agreement to this system. So that's why the system is the way that it is. So let's just say that if I had someone that I was in a relationship with, and I'm arguing with that person, and I'm calling that person a liar and a cheat. Well, I'm calling that person a liar and a cheat because there's something that they're doing that is expressing or showing that they're lying about something, or they have cheated on something, whether it's a physical thing, an emotional thing, a mental thing, or a health issue, because we cheat on the foods that we shouldn't be eating. I know I've done that myself. Well, if you're calling someone that, know that somewhere in my life, it may not be in the same events or situations that person is a lying or a cheat, but I'm lying somewhere in my life. I'm cheating somewhere in my life. And so I'm speaking out to that, but I'm yelling at that person, but I'm not really yelling at the person. I'm really yelling at myself, because I only can see myself when I'm speaking to that person. It's the same way if you see something good and beautiful and wonderful and peaceful and spiritual and kind in another person. That's because you can only see what is in you. So you're expressing that to that person as well as you're expressing it to yourself, because you only can say it to yourself first, as well as you can only hear it from yourself first. The person that you're actually looking at or speaking to, they're second. They hear everything after you. They see things after you, because they only can also see within their own selves. We have to stop taking things personally. We were always told that growing up, but we weren't understanding the why to not take things personally, how not to take things personally. Because if all you can see is that the person is yelling at me, then you're automatically going to think, because you weren't taught to understand or comprehend why that person is yelling, you begin to get upset, you get mad, you cry, you get stressed out, and a whole bunch of other health issues come from that. Trust me, I know about all those things, because that's how my life was growing up. It became very stressful because I always took things so personally and took it straight to heart. But not realizing, not until so many years later, when I got much higher in my elevation in the spirit, that I saw that a lot of the arguments and fights that I was experiencing, and a lot of the stress that I took upon myself, upon my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul, that it was unnecessary, because a lot of it had nothing to do with me. There was something that I was doing that I needed to look within myself so I can make that change. And that is the truth in that, because it doesn't mean that they don't see these things in you. It's just that it's just a different area, a different type of event, a different type of situation that they see within you, but that they were able to relate to it within their own selves. I have a friend of mine, the gentleman who did, the brother who did the video Marriage and Matrimony with me. He has always been my spiritual mirror. He has always been the reflection of me as I was the reflection of him. If it wasn't for him, I would not truly be exactly where I am today, because he saw so much in me that he not seen in himself, and vice versa. And he helped me to realize the woman that I am. He helped me to realize the things that I needed to change in my life, my relationship with my mother, my relationship with my oldest son, which has been so back and forth for so long. You know, we don't understand the need that we have for each other here on this earth, because we have to have someone to reflect off of, so that we can be able to learn from ourselves, so we can be able to learn from another person. That's where the teacher and student situation comes from, because we are all teachers and we're all students, and we just change positions at each time. And sometimes we're playing the dual role at the same time, learning and teaching at the same time. So I don't want to make this long, but because to me, it's a very simple type of topic, and I'm hoping that the way that it's being broken down to you, that you'll be able to understand it better, so that it can help you in your relationship. So when you think twice before you start accepting in what somebody is saying to you and taking it personally and getting all upset and getting all emotional, because those emotions that we is from our lower part of our being, and that's that fleshy side that they speak on. And we have to remove that side of us. We have to die of that. We have to sacrifice ourselves of that. That is called our ego. And we have to let those things go so we can be able to elevate and move forward. That's what movement is about. That's where your resurrection comes from. We resurrect from our old selves every day, every moment that we come to a realization of our higher selves. If you are still where you are, then you have not died from something. That means you have not grown from something. And then you're going to continue the chaos that is going on in your life. I would love to see my brothers and sisters start to be able to come into light and to see the things that are actually going on around them, to be able to remove those type of emotions from their being so that they can see things clearly. Once you're able to know and comprehend that when we see something in someone, stop for a moment, take a quick thought before you react and think about it so that an argument will come into place. Because if the person who is about to speak knows why they're about to say what they're going to say and be able to take it in correctly, and the person that they're speaking to already knows why, that it can see why that person is saying what they're saying, we're both checking ourselves. We're both seeing why the person is saying what they're saying, because it must have some level of truth in it. It must have truth in it, just like when people say, in every joke, there's a seriousness in every joke. Well, it's that same scenario. Check yourself first. Think about what you're about to say before you say it. The more we do this, the less arguments and fights we're going to have. The more that we can stop being divided amongst each other and start living in unity with one another. As always shared with me in this truth, a divided house cannot stand. So why be divided if you can now process the situation, know the why of the situation, so then you can move forward and live in peace. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope that it will be able to help you in your thinking of your past situations, your current situations, and prepare yourself and to be ready for tomorrow's situations. I just want to give thanks to the One Most High for the ability and the chance to be able to speak to my brothers and sisters in this manner, and for the many that I have an opportunity to meet in person and on the phone. And if there's anything that you feel that you needed to ask, or some better understanding of things, now I cannot say that I know it all, but I do speak on what I do know. I do speak on what I have experienced and overcome. I do speak on what the Spirit has shown me and that has been intuited, that has come from me. I do my best at all costs not to speak out of my emotions. And if I do that, then I'm selling you short and I'm selling myself short, and it's not fair to you and it's not fair to me. That means I'm not really helping you in the manner that I should be. So I'm hoping that this video has been a great help to you, as it has been a great help to me to experience all that I have. That's been helping me out a lot. I know that a lot of people right now are probably looking at this video trying to figure out what happened to her hair and what happened to her wrap. I still wear my wraps. This is the summertime, or the springtime going into the summertime, and I like to nourish my crown with the sun rays and everything. And so I still continue to wear my wrap, just not as often as I did before during the colder months. And yes, this is my hair. I cut it down because it needed to grow, because of so many different things that I had done in my life and choices that I made health-wise, that my hair was not growing in a manner that it should. And so now things are different. So I'm just starting from scratch, starting over. So anyway, I don't want to push this any further than I have. I really thank y'all for taking the time to view this video. I hope it has been of some help. And y'all have a wonderful day. Ma'at Hotep.